Have you had your cup of coffee yet? I had, because without it, I wouldn't even be able to make it throughout half of the day. Many of you rely on caffeine to boost yourselves, and most of us wouldn't be as productive without it. Coffee has fueled many generations of Americans to make America what it is today. Without it, who knows what our country would look like? Today, I'll inform you about coffee and the effect it has on our nation's history, specifically in the nation's turning points. I'll discuss how coffee became important to America and how it helped many people during the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, and World War II. Although coffee is the number one caffeinated beverage in America today, it has not always been this way. As in the 1700s, tea was the number one beverage. Before the colonial settlers decided they wanted to start their own country, they were almost all British settlers, and the British loved their tea. According to Tiana Mobley, a Georgetown Fellow from 2020 to 2022, in an article by the White House Historical Association, during the early 1700s, colonists expressed a fondness of tea, which reflected their colonial heritage and identity. After a series of taxes on tea and other products, however, colonists had enough of their taxes and no longer wanted tea imports into their colonies. In Boston, a shipment carrying tea embarked on their land. The colonists demanded them to go back to England, but they refused. This led to angered colonists who decided to raid the ship and dump their tea, which became known as the Boston Tea Party. After the Boston Tea Party, colonists no longer drank tea, as it became specifically in the colonies as a sign of support to the British, and instead started to drink coffee. Coffee became a symbol of independence from Britain, and it became very popular among the colonies. The Boston Tea Party and boycotts of British products eventually led to the Revolutionary War, which paved way to the America we know today. After America was established, everything seemed fine, and everyone was chilling with their cups of coffee until 1861, when the Civil War began. Before the Civil War in 1832, President Andrew Jackson changed the rations of soldiers from rum to coffee, according to Ashley Webb from the Historical Society of Western Virginia in the article The American Battlefield Trust. With this modification, the importance of coffee into the U.S. rose from 12 million pounds per year to 38 million pounds. This changed the military, which obviously benefited from rum being replaced by coffee. After the Southern states seceded from the Union in 1861 and the Civil War began, President Lincoln ordered a blockade all around the Confederate States, and General Winfield Scott imposed this blockade further by proposing the Anaconda Plan, which cut off all trade down the Mississippi River, which was crucial in delivering products all the way down south. This blockade also included coffee, which impacted the Confederate States greatly. Soldiers that drank coffee on daily prior to the war began to drink it occasionally, as it became a rare commodity as the war went further. As coffee became increasingly difficult to find, Confederate morale began to dwindle, and some even resorted to looking for substitutes for coffee. This decrease of coffee supply to the Confederate States helped the Union by decreasing morale of the Confederate States, which, while other factors led to their defeat eventually. World War II was also another event that threatened the nation similarly to the Civil War. During World War II, it was easier to get coffee onto the battlegrounds due to innovative technologies. Instant coffee was invented in 1838, which was given to soldiers fighting in World War II. According to John C. Busby and Stephen Haley, authors of the article Consumption Over the Last Century, published in June 1st, 2007, per capita availability of coffee rose 78% between 1910 and 1950. This was all due to technological advancements such as the instant coffee machine and the vacuum packaging and freeze drying processes. Coffee helped soldiers in the war by helping them feel at home while away from the battlefield, and medically prevented injured soldiers from going into shock. In the data provided by the USDA, coffee availability in the U.S. peaked in 1946 at 46.4 gallons per person. After World War II, however, coffee supply declined as consumers began to drink other beverages, such as soda. Although coffee supply declined after World War II, and hence consumption declined, It still remains a staple for hardworking citizens of America to this day. Coffee has shaped America during its time. During the Revolutionary War, it helped colonists get by without tea, and colonists discovered that it increased their working quality as well. In the Civil War, Southern soldiers had a hard time fighting without coffee, showing the importance of coffee to American soldiers at the time. And during World War II, coffee helped with morale at home and out in the field. I have informed you today about the impact that coffee has on Americans during tough times. The next time you have a cup of coffee, remember the impact coffee has on the American history. We have been through tough and thin, and we might go through some tough times again in the future. But as long as we have coffee on our side, we'll make it through. Thank you for listening.